What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today, once again, comes from the Grow Brewing Company, and they're headquartered in New Hartford, New York, and this is the Pollening. So this is a triple hazy IPA that comes in at 10% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed, and time of review, and this can is approximately 3.5 weeks old. So about a month ago, I reviewed their Dormancy, the cherry brandy aged variant, to celebrate the first anniversary of their taproom in New Hartford, New York, and it was a delicious beer. However, they did, I think, a handful of different anniversary releases, and I believe this was one of them. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab something. Of course, my favorite local bottle shop of choice, Brewed and Bottled, Lewiston, New York. Shout out to Chris over there. He got, I think it was 4 different beers from them, and I was looking at them, and I was like, you know what? I always say this, at least over pretty much the past 6 months, but I don't drink a lot of triple IPAs anymore. However, it's Grow. They have great hop-forward beers. Why not pick this one up? So this one is brewed with Superdelic and Citra hops, and then they also put a big dose of Phantasm in the boil. So I'm thinking this one's going to be quite tasty. We will see. So let's crack it open and give it a go. Once again, shout out to Garrett and Alana and the entire Grow crew on their first anniversary and just kicking ass in general over the past couple years. They make some fantastic beers, and if you're in the western/central New York region of New York State, you gotta try Grow's beers. They do fantastic stuff. So pour in the hashtag proper glassware, and we'll be able to pour probably this entire can in, because I'm pretty sure this is a 16 fluid ounce glass. Oh, is that a perfect pour? Oh, hang on. Don't toot your own horn. Oh my God, what the fuck? Wow, that smells like there's fruit in there. Dude, that's straight on passion fruit. Holy balls, is that crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that might be one of the best pours I've ever did on this channel. That looks fucking sensational in the glass. That is an immaculate looking beer. Like, that looks perfection. Has a beautiful hazy orange color. Murkid and Turby, can't see through it. Murkid and Turby? Turbid and murky? Murkid? I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that looks beautiful. 2 fingers of a beautiful off-white, super creamy looking head. You really can't see through it. Get out the contraband flashlight. You see a light, the light white, that got my white light, contraband flashlight. You see through it. But yeah, it's still very hazy and whatnot. So it looks really nice. This looks awesome. It smells fucking wild. It smells like passion fruit juice. Dude. Passion fruit juice, white wine, like it's almost like there's Nelson. Phantasm is wild, because Phantasm can definitely give you big, like, tropical fruit nose. And Superdelic, I'm not as familiar. I've had it in some beers, but like I love passion fruit. This smells like passion fruit juice. Lemon lime, like almost Motueka's in here. Passion fruit, lemon lime, white grapes, white wine. If you ask me to guess what's in here as far as like the hops, I would say this is a New Zealand hop triple IPA. I would call out 100% Nelson and Motueka. No questions asked. Like that's kind of there's some like citrus, like orange, like sweeter orange, maybe even like a blood orange. Maybe a touch of like a mixed berry, or like a red raspberry. There's this awesome dank herbaceousness in the nose too. Dude. Maybe I need to get back on the triple IPA wagon, right? Like, because here's the thing. I always say I don't gravitate towards triple IPAs anymore. Why? I don't need 10+% huge, hop forward beers. I don't. My preference is like the Hop Butcher does the 7.5 doubles, or maybe even like 8.5 from like other half and other breweries. That's kind of my wheelhouse. If like I'm going to want a bigger hop forward beer, that's where I go with. But after having Peak Citra from Hop Butcher recently and just loving that triple IPA, and now smelling this, it's like maybe I should dip my toes back into the triple waters more frequently. But I don't know. This smells fucking spectacular. It smells awesome. It smells absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, cheers everybody. Let's get in this one. Fucking delicious. This is absolutely delicious. You have the Voodoo Ranger lineup. I don't know when you're going to see this in comparison to when I do their New Belgium's Triple or Triple. And I talk about that, how like the Voodoo Ranger lineup from New Belgium is like 9% carbonated fruit juice. There's no like real hop character there. It doesn't even taste like a beer in a lot of respects. This is like if you took one of those beers but actually made it a authentic beer. Because I can still taste the beer properties in this. However, it's fucking so fruity, so complex, pure deliciousness. 10%, I can't tell. Anyway, we'll proper review it, but this is fucking awesome. Body's higher side of medium, lower side of full. You might say it's a bit thin at 10%, but for those of you who watch a lot of the reviews, I repeat myself a lot, but I always go into a review like someone's watching for the first time. So I don't want you to be too familiar with my reviews because not everybody is. There's a lot of people who watch most of them, and that's awesome, and I appreciate you guys, but then there's people who find the channel for the first time, and if I start referencing stuff without a backstory, they're like, what the hell is he talking about? So I always got to keep in mind. Triple IPAs, I always want a couple things out of them. Number one, I don't want them to be too boozy. They can have a little booze to them, but they can't be over the top boozy. And they can't be too sweet. The other thing is, I don't mind if the body is a little bit thinner because I think it helps the drinkability. If you're drinking a 10%, hop forward beer, I don't want it to be thick and syrupy like I'm drinking, an Imperial Stout or even like a smoothie sour that can have that kind of like thickness to it. So this is higher side of medium, lower side of full, appropriate for what I want. Might be a bit thin for you, but it is what it is. The mouthfeel, mild to moderately carbonated, more approaching moderately, a little bit softer than anticipated. Very smooth, has a hint of creaminess. Mouthfeel is better than body, but they're both really good. The taste is just a concentrated, to me, passion fruit juice front to back. You can throw in some white grapes, some white wine. Again, I think Nelson and Motueka, if I was doing this blind, it's so vibrant from the passion fruit that if I was reviewing this blind, I might call out an addition of passion fruit in some way. Underlying citrus, lemon lime, like a candied lemon lime, Sprite, 7-Up, some kind of lemon lime kind of candy. A little bit of orange and grapefruit. Midway through the palate is where that white grape, white wine ramps up. I get a little bit of like this red raspberry, maybe a touch of like a peach and apricot. Has this beautiful finish of a dank herbaceousness. No hop burn here. 3.5 weeks old. No hop burn whatsoever. It finishes firmly dry with a mild to moderate bitterness. The one knock I would have on this one right off the rip is I want to see a little bit more bitterness. The dryness is very welcome, but I think a firm moderate bitterness would really help it out. Here's the caveat. Here's why it's probably okay. Hazy hop forward beers of pretty much any kind, it's not stylistically correct if you're saying like a moderate to even a touch over moderate bitterness. Most hazies have less bitterness, and that's why a lot of people like them. For me, where my palate is, I see a little bit more bitterness. So stylistically correct. As far as my own personal preference, well, a little bit more bitterness. The vibrancy on this one is through the roof. Like it's very intense on the palate, in the nose. Passion fruit juice, white grapes, white wine, red raspberry, citrus, dank, herbaceous, beautiful balance between all of these characteristics. Fucking Grow does awesome stuff. Glass lacing is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews, especially Dan, who was always talking about Grow when they first started. He's like, I think they're going to be something big, something great. And Grow is known definitely in the Western New York, Central New York area for sure. A lot of people know their beer, but like outside of the state, I've never heard anyone really mention Grow, but they should. Grow is making some fantastic beers. Garrett kicks ass. He knows what he's doing. And I wish more people could try their stuff outside of the state. Because this is a perfect example of a triple IPA that does exactly what it should. Yeah, there's a couple flaws here, stylistically speaking, but for me personally speaking, like that isn't really a flaw. Like the slightly thinner body, the slightly less bitterness that I want to see. But like as far as a flavor profile goes, this is fan-fucking-tastic. So, you know what? I picked this one up and I'm like, all right, we'll see how it is, right? I think it's going to be good. Garrett knows what he's doing, whatever. This is fucking a top-notch triple IPA. Like, top-notch. I gave that Hop Butcher Peak Citra, I think, either a 4.6 or a 4.65. Slightly better. Slightly. So I'm going to give Grow's the Pollening a low 4.75 and go 4.7. Top fucking tier. Top tier triple IPA. I love it. And the artwork, fucking Grow's artwork is top-notch as well. Like, they're doing it all. They really are. I can't wait to see them continue to make more waves and waves in New York State and then outside of the state. I think they deserve some props. So, awesome beer. Price point, I picked this up at Brewed and Bottled, Lewiston, New York. Like I said earlier, shout out to Chris. He gets a lot of awesome beer. I think I paid for like $5.50 for that can. It's a 10% hazy triple IPA. $5.50 a can, that'd be $22 a 4-pack. Yeah, that's kind of the going rate. I'm fine with that. If you have to pay more than that, I'd probably pay up to like $6.57 a can and probably like $25 a 4-pack. This is 10%. It's a hazy triple IPA, but it's also a 4.7 out of 5. So like I'd easily pay up to $7 a can for that. No questions asked. Availability is Grow, New York State. If you're in the Western New York, Central New York, maybe a little bit downstate, but not into New York City, check out their stuff. I still need to hit up that tap room in New Hartford, New York. Not a down the street. It's a 6-hour round trip. But when I do, I want to do it on location. So I'm going to contact Garrett when I do that and see if he can stop by and chat with him, get a good interview, and just show you the digs. But they are a fucking fantastic brewery doing fantastic things. And I'm glad I need to review more of them. That's on me. That Dormancy, that was the first review I did since the fall from them. I need to do more, not even just Western New York Wednesday, because the reality is they're not in the Western New York area anymore. They're not. They moved from the Rochester, Finger Lakes region down to Utica, close to Utica and New Hartford. But they still distribute to Western New York. And I've always said when it comes to Western New York Wednesdays, it's either beers from breweries in and around the Western New York area or breweries in New York State that get distro or have supported the Western New York region for a long time. And that's where Grow lies with me. So I'll always shout them out. I think they do amazing stuff. So again, I don't gravitate towards triple IPAs anymore, but if more triple IPAs tasted like this and like the Hop Butcher Peak Citra, I would drink them quite often. But it's 10%. Gotta slow down. Oh yeah, 10%. Didn't even mention 10%. Dude, no way. That's why this is a 4.7. A little warming in the chest, nothing in the palate. This tastes like it's fucking 8. But the intensity of the hops and the flavors as a whole, it does seem like it's a 10% beer. So I'm just waxing poetic at this point. So if you've had this one before, I'm sure a lot of you haven't, post a comment section. If not, what's your favorite hazy triple IPA or triple IPA in general? This is up there, especially for a hazy. Like, it's just, let me one more sip. I just want to make sure that I'm doing it justice. So fucking delicious. Like, just absolutely delicious. Yeah, 4.7 out of 5. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Check back next Wednesday for another Western New York Wednesday. And until then, cheers.